It has been, obviously, an incredibly intense campaign. I think it's cause for celebration that we have an African-American, a woman, running for the highest position in our country, the toughest job in the world.
Right,
but I do want to make it clear that our campaigns have to stay focused on what, the legitimate differences are, so that we can give voters information that will enable them to make the right decision.
And it seemed to me that on Monday night in South Carolina in that debate, it didn't always stay focused on that, Senator. I want to run a clip, and this is where you were attacking Senator Obama in particular about his work connected to what was called a so-called slumlord in Chicago, a guy named Tony Rezko. Take a look at the clip.
I was fighting against those ideas when you were practicing law and representing your contributor, Rezko, in his slum landlord business in inner city Chicago.
That was Monday night, Senator, and I know you don't have video. You can't see what I'm about to put up on the screen right now, but I'm going to put up a picture right now that we've received, and this is a picture of you and your husband, Bill Clinton, posing with that same man, Tony Rezko. It is undated. I'm going to tell you right now. We know it's him. We don't know when it was taken. We think it was taken during your husband's presidency. I'm just curious, do you know anything about the picture? Do you know when it was taken? Do you remember meeting this man?
No, I don't. I probably have taken hundreds of thousands of pictures. But of course, Matt, you didn't show what preceded what I said, which was a direct attack, one of several that was leveled against me by Senator Obama.
It was a counterpunch. I understand that.
Obviously, it was a counterpunch. I try not to attack first, but I have to defend myself, and I do have to counterpunch. No, I don't know the man. I wouldn't know him if he walked in the door. I don't have a 17-year relationship with him. I think what we ought to be looking at is how we go forward talking about the issues. I do think, however, that this is a campaign. It's a contest. It's something that is very important to each of us running, to our supporters, to those who believe in us. And, I took a lot of incoming fire for many, many months, and I was happy to absorb it because obviously, I felt that that was part of my responsibility.
I guess what I'm saying, though,
as you get toward the end of a campaign, you've got to set the record straight,
right,
which is what I tried to do.
But does it make sense to use someone like this, Tony Rezko, against Senator Obama when there really is no such thing as political purity anymore? I know you stand at events and you stood as First Lady along with your husband, the President, and they filed 200 people by you a night. And you know what? This is a man who made
1,000 people.
Right. He made a contribution to the DNC back in March of 2000. So if there's no such thing as ever being able to fully vet who you come in contact with, is it appropriate to make this kind of an attack on your opponent?
Well, Matt, I think you just have to, again, look at the record and the facts. There's a big difference between standing somewhere, taking a picture with someone you don't know and haven't seen since, and having a relationship that, the newspapers in Chicago have been exploring. But again, let's focus on the issues between us. Let's focus on what we want to do for the country. And let's, most importantly, focus about the great difference between us and the Republicans. I think you saw that again in their debate. They are sticking with the failed policies of President Bush. More in Iraq. Senator McCain has said it'd be fine with him if we were there for 100 years. It's not fine with me.